can't do it. I just can't. I can't. I'm here. I'm covering it. I see it. I appreciate the good. But I just can't close my eyes to the rest of it. Good morning to you. Good Tuesday morning from Milwaukee. I'm Dejan Kovacevic of DK Pittsburgh Sports, and this is Daily Shot of Pirates. It comes your way bright and early every weekday if you're into football or hockey. I also offer daily shots of Steelers and Penguins in the same place that you found this. Pirates 8, Brewers 6. I'm sure you know the good. Brian Reynolds, home run in the ninth inning for some vital insurance, went 5 for 5. First 5-hit performance of his career. Good for him. Andrew McCutchen kept swinging a really nice bat. He's been doing that for a while and hasn't been getting rewarded for it. 2 for 5. And he actually really stung 2 of the outs as well. Did some fine base running. Mitch Keller, 6 scoreless innings is exactly what it is. Can't take that away from him. There were 8 hits along the way. He was doing some dancing through the raindrops. David Bednar closed it out. 1-2-3, no less for him. That had to be encouraging for everybody involved. What's not encouraging is this other stuff, this management stuff. Nothing really seems to change. There's not any additional urgency, much less, I dare say, intelligence or forward thinking going into any of the calls that are being made on or off the field. What do I mean by that? Well, let's start with the obvious one, the glaring one. That's sitting Connor Joe. I mean, how do I even have like a discussion point on this when it's so obscenely obvious that I sound like an idiot even trying to say, oh, they really ought to be playing Connor Joe. Well, no kidding. He's the team's best hitter as measured by OPS by nearly 100 points. There's no one even close to him. And he's sitting in a game against an opponent that's in first place in your division that you're only going to see a dozen times. If you go back just a couple of years before baseball did the full expanded schedule where everybody plays everybody at some point over the season, you would see the Brewers 18 times. You got a lot of cracks at those guys and vice versa. Not now. This is 12 out of 162. And not to mention, it's a stretch currently of 10 consecutive games against either the Cubs or the Brewers. And they're treating this like it's, the second week in Bradenton. Got to see what Rowdy's got. No, you don't. You've seen what Rowdy Tellez has. You've seen what he's given you for a year and $3.2 million. You've seen what he's given you in consuming the first base position and not having somebody else there, including, notably, your best hitter. This isn't about trying to salvage a contract, or it shouldn't be. It actually is. And this can't be about prioritizing just let's get him going like it's, Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts. Everybody wins. I asked Shelton yesterday. This was before the game, but it was after he put his lineup up. I asked him what it'll take to get Joe into everyday duty. You'll hear my question, you'll hear his response, you'll hear my follow-up regarding Tellez, and then you'll hear another response. Shelton, everyone back home is going to be wondering what it'll take to get Connor Joe into the lineup on a regular basis. He's obviously been, at least numerically, your best hitter, 757 OPS against righties. What will it take?
Yeah, well, he's been in there. But we're going to mix everybody in. So, he's going to continue to get at bats against all guys, but we're going to play our whole roster.
Is there also a case of you going to stick with Rowdy, make sure you get him going?
We need to get Rowdy going. That's important for us. He's a guy that we signed in the offseason, and, he's not going to get going by not getting reps.
He said, to requote, we need to get Rowdy going. No, you actually don't need to get Rowdy going, unless, of course, you mean going to Indianapolis. That's not a thing. If you have a player who's on some long-term multi-million-dollar contract, like Reynolds, like Ke'Bryan Hayes, you can say things like, we need to get him going. You know why? Because you do. Because you have him for a very, very, very long period, and it's all guaranteed money. When you have somebody on 1 year at $3.2 million, you don't have to get him going. What you have to get is serious about winning the game that's being played right in front of you. These guys took the field here last night, willingly sitting their best hitter against the opponent that arguably they need to beat more than anybody else. Tell me how they are to be taken seriously. That's not the cynic in me. That's me looking right at the actual fact. I'm not the one who benched Connor Joe in the most important game they've played this season. I'm just the one reacting to it. And don't even get me started on this gross mismanagement of the bullpen of late. Josh Fleming left out there to die. 2 consecutive innings, he gives up 6 runs. And the lead, huge lead, again just disappears. Why? Because Shelton says afterward, I don't have enough relievers. But then when you count the relievers that he had them. But he thinks he doesn't have them, so maybe it's a perception problem, because he wasn't counting Luis Ortiz, who's only thrown 4 innings the entire month. He wasn't counting Colin Holderman, even though Holderman got up to warm up not once, but twice. What is this? Can these people be trusted with the future of a franchise that now has Paul Skeens and Jared Jones standing next to Mitch Keller in the rotation? When we come back, J1Q. This portion of Daily Shot of Pirates is brought to you by our friends at North Shore Tavern, that's directly across Federal Street from PNC Park. It's home of Steak on a Stone, an eating experience, underscoring the word experience. The steak is brought to you partially cooked on an 800-degree stone, and you do the rest. It's a ton of fun, it's a great meal, and it's a baseball atmosphere like no other in Pittsburgh. North Shore Tavern, right across Federal Street from PNC Park. Today's J1Q comes from Jordan, who asks, DK, is anyone in the Pirates front office and or Derek Shelton or Andy Haynes feeling any heat at all? Jordan, I had one way of answering this question for quite a long time. And as of communicating with you right now, I've got a different one. There's something weird going on. I don't know what. Don't ask me what. I'm not holding it back. It's not, some secret that I'm going to wait to unleash on everybody. If I knew, I knew. I'm not in the business of keeping secrets. I'm a reporter. We do the exact opposite. But there's something off in the Pirates' little world. People who I'm used to hearing complaints from aren't saying anything at all. People who never complain are complaining quite a you're not going to like this because you're going to think I'm like, teasing you or whatever, that I just don't have this. I know that throughout this day, I was left with a feeling that there's something afoot. I don't know what that is. I don't know if there's somebody who's just mad. I don't know if it's Bob Nutting, Travis Williams, whatever. I don't know if they've been admonished in some way. I don't know if it's not just, Ben Cherington, all of a sudden coming to life, or however it is that you would put that. I don't mean to sound mean here, but some of the things that they do, the ways that they carry themselves, meaning the people running the Pirates, I don't want to believe that they don't care. Okay. I have a really, really hard time with that concept. I can't fathom getting into competitive anything, much less sports, and not being driven first and foremost to win at whatever it is that you're doing. But they don't do that. Cherington doesn't do that. Everything is about the tomorrow. Everything is about, let's just take our time and see how this unfolds. And the stuff that he was saying over the weekend in that nervous ramble before the Paul Skeens debut about, I don't know, how we're all accountable. The players that you see now are the players that you're going to see then. We just need, what? What? You are presiding over the worst offensive thing we've seen in Pittsburgh in a lifetime, any sport. And you're wagging a finger back in this direction saying that the players that you see now are the players you're going to, based on what? Based on what? A 1 year, $3.2 million. Look, something is off, Jordan. That's the best answer that I can give you. And I'm back at the ballpark again tonight here in Milwaukee, and then tomorrow for the finale. And I'll continue doing whatever it is that I do to try to find out more. But something's off. I appreciate the question. I appreciate everybody listening to Daily Shot of Pirates. I have no idea why you do, but I will still be back with another episode tomorrow.